Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another V Premium deck profile, which will be a Link Joker and will be Star-vader. So this deck is basically I uh, asked a friend for some ideas, and then just based on that and build my deck. I think it will be helping you if you're trying to look for what to include in the deck, but if you're looking for like a competitive build, then probably this might be a helpful hand, but not an exact list that you are going to like copy or something like that. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go into the profile. For starter, nothing too fancy right here because I'm using my foil on something else. That's why just that. And then three of the Nebula Lord. So Nebula Lord is the new support we have from the V Clan collection, and from old times he's basically the first one to come out outside of the starter. Is a good comrade to or good general for Link Joker in the past, but only for a very short time and he's gone. But now he's back and with some good skill. So first skill, active skill once per turn. So +1, retire one of the Star-vader, and your opponent choose one of their regards to lock. And after that, if they don't have any regards from your back row, this unit will get +1 drive. If your opponent choose to not lock it, or if no cards is being locked, then your opponent will look at the top card of the deck, call it to the enemy circle as a lock card. Uh, so you do gain something from this card, but you also lose something from this card because you do need to kill one of your regards, and that's always happening with the current Link Joker. It's not like you're totally gaining anything, but now you're doing something with a high cost, and of course your opponents will need to choose one regards to lock, and it's not up to one, so they need to kind of fulfill this. But if they lock a front row, none of the text basically happens if they do have a back row. If they lock a back row and they don't have more regards in the back row, then of course you can gain a drive. But if they have something at the back, they choose to lock something in the front, nothing happens. So this is something that kind of limiting the usage of this card, but I still see him useful because if you get to lock your opponent's front row, unless you're facing XL clan, then their number of attacks greatly decrease. If they do spam a lot of regards, then of course you probably won't go for this option. So you only use him when you see the timing is fit. And he also got a second skill as a permanent skill during your turn. If your opponent is graveyard or higher for each lock card you have, or your Star-vader's units, you get +5k. So, like, you get to lock some cards, and then you still get some power up, so you can push through. Because even when playing a Force Clan, we always have times that we don't have enough power to break through some stuff, or we don't hit hard enough. So he can actually help you out, but he might not be a very good first ride. And then another card that might not be a good first ride, unless you are being pushed too hard, which is of course our Chaos Breaker. He is here to help you wipe the circles, wipe the markers, so that your opponents don't have access to do a lot of things. They don't have force to keep gaining power while you like keep getting your own force. And yeah, basically that's it, because we don't use this lock skill a lot, because that also gives your opponents a force marker, and if you do not do it carefully, you will totally benefiting your opponents. But of course, when you are lacking a force marker of your opponent's side, and because you want to have two, then of course feel free to use that skill, but do be careful. It's a double-edged sword. and somehow in V Premium, Star-vader isn't that scary as we see in like previous eras. So, uh, like Nebula Lord, you need to use these cards at the right time. And then we do have another card that you also need to take a look at the timing, which is of course Infinite Zero from previous Freeclan collection. So he can help you lock some cards, maybe two, depending on how many damage you have. So unless you get rush, you normally just lock one, and he just hit hard because he can gain a lot of power per lock card. But yeah, again, you just need to look at your opponent's board carefully. If they don't have a lot of stuff, go for Nebula Lord. If they do have a lot of markers, you want to clean them all, you need to use Chaos Breaker. Or if you get rushed too much and you want to start locking a little bit more cards, then you go for Infinite Zero. So do be careful what you use. Of course, there are moments that you can't get to choose, but if you can, always look at your opponent's board, see which one is the like solution for you, and go for that. And then of course, this grade 2 is still the best grade 2 we have for Star-vaders. Gain crit and also create dog cards, trying to mill your opponent's deck, forcing them to like give you power or just have one less attack, which is quite important. So he's still a 4 off. So far, I don't think we need to cut any of this out because it's just that good. And then for the Radon, so Radon come back with Nebula Lord, and this time they gives you some kind of weird effects. So is it drop zone effects? If your soul is 1 or lower, you can minus 1 soul blast cost, and during your start of your battle phase, you can soul blast 1 and call this unit to a regular circle that also has another Star-vaders on the same column. So you do have to have units first before you call him out. And if you don't have a lot of souls, then you can basically get him out for free. But when this card attacks, during a battle, your opponents, when they call from the hand, they need to call at least 2 cards together. And when the battle ends, this card will get bind, and it's a thing that you have to do. So you have to bind this card, and so far, as far as I know, once they're gone, they're gone. They're not coming back. So do be careful, don't spam this card, because once you use them all out, you don't have any extra attackers, you don't have limitations, and all your attacks will be so easy to guard. So only use them when you see fit, like when you're pushing a lot, and maybe when you are even playing Force 2 or something, then maybe you can choose to do that because you have Nebula Lord to actually help you to pump the board per lock card to your Star-vaders. That might be a good moment. Or maybe you use Force 1, so you are trying to finish your opponents off, then you can even just have 2 out and just trying to at least force them to drop all their whole hand so they can't do any comeback, and the next turn they will lose. At least aim for that. Or else, I probably won't just simply call him up because I want the extra attacker. Probably not. And then 3 of the colony maker, because we do want to build our board, even though we do need to discard a card and soul blast 1, which is still a very, very high cost, but being able to search for something that you need, I think is still important in this deck. So she's still here. And then 4 of our crows, it's just great, same as him, as a good searcher, and help you to switch locks, which also activating Chaos Breaker skill. So far, again, no reason we are taking this up. And then 3 of these deleters, because we even if we are locking a lot of cards, now the way of playing the deck is more trying to prevent them to unlock. So of course they do, if they play like Go Paladins or anything that can unlock cards, then that's another story. But usually when you lock some cards, you just want, okay, just stay locked, so that I can keep limiting all your movements you can do. Don't attack me too much so that I can have a lot of hands to play something on the board and fight back, and I don't need to use another card to guard. So he's become a lot more important right here, and since we do have our crow to switch the lock target, so even if they lock the back row, unless they keep empty front rows, else you still get to keep those units locked for a while, and then just push them with like a radar. And then 3 neons. Neons is kind of similar, but instead of soul blast, you use counterblast for this card, and you don't get to actually reduce the cost. But his binding skill is when your opponent's turn in, if this turn your opponent's card didn't get unlocked, he will be gone. So you might see this a little bit contrasting with this card, but of course you don't simply use them together, or when you use the skill you don't simply just put them out. But if you are trying to let your opponents to unlock cards, then maybe you can actually have some Neon out to help you out, because he can just simply come out and just die and come back, because as long as your opponents have cards unlocked, he won't go away. So just feel free to get him in the front and let your opponents retire or anything. Then whenever time comes, you can still counterblast and bring him back. So so far I think he isn't that bad to be being binded, because you can kind of control your timing to use this card to prevent that happening. Not like him, because after the battle ends he's just gone. So still good. Before you like starting running out of cards, you at least still have some cards to help you out whenever you still need some attackers or booster to do some stuff. And then 3 more of the power shim. It's just great because you can just ride on top of him and call him out back, so he can still be useful, and you still get to when your opponents unlock cards, then you can just tell them to put another card from the deck, so you can just be annoying as always. Yeah, so far this is the non-trigger content, and for non-Star-vaders that's only 3 cards, so it's actually quite easy for him to pick cards for you to search cards, including these actually increase the pool size, and they aren't bad cards at all, just that they aren't impressive in the current meta. So yeah, let's get to triggers. So first 4 crits, 2 more crits, 4 draw PGs, 2 more draws, and 4 heal guardians. Because I still don't like to get rushed, so I rather use 4 of the heal guardians. But if you do want to go for 2/2, feel free to go for 2/2. But again, I hate to be rushed, so I rather have 4 so I can just get prepared. And as you can see, I am not running the Grave Researcher anymore, so having 4 just basically helped me to easier get them to my hand. And I basically cut the Grave Researcher into this, and then I cut some of the non-Star-vader Grave Dragons out, also my Superior engine out, so I get space for this. But with like say upgrades, I think they do get some upgrades, but for the grade 3s it's still kind of nothing we feel like wow. Yeah, that's my feeling. They aren't bad cards, but then they all kind of depending on what your opponents do. So you are not the offensive side, you're more like a depending on what your opponents do, you do such things, which is a little bit different from before when we used to play Star-vader in like G era or anything, that we can actually go very aggressive, but now we cannot. It's more passive, I would say. Of course you can still kind of be aggressive, but really I think we do need some cards to be less passive and less relying on opponents, because with Link Joker, with Star-vaders, we're always thinking at they are good at being themselves, pushing opponents to a limit that they can't do a lot of stuff. But now it's more like, okay, you have this, then I have this solution for you. You have this, then I have that solution for you. But if I don't actually have those cards, and I need to do something in another way around, and that might just be the reason I lose. That's how I feel with this deck. If you feel different, feel free to comment down below, let me know. But so far, I think this is the solution I can get to with the cards that I have. And feel free to try it out. Let me know what you think. And if you have something interesting idea, feel free to share. I am always open to ideas. And yeah, that's basically it for this deck profile, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.